Good evening.
Whoa! Slow down there, Captain Sniffly. What's good, wrestling fans? It's your boy Jay, the heel kid of pro wrestling, and I'm here with
Lewis, the encyclopedia of pro wrestling. Not Sniffly.
and this is Evolution of Pro Wrestling.
You calling me Sniffly for?
Cause you over here.
I'm congested. I'm congested a little bit. I'm sorry, guys. I do apologize. I'm a little congested due to all this weather.
Yeah.
But
Change your weather's crazy.
Change your weather's crazy. It got me. I got a sinus infection, but I'm here. We'll still put it on the show. Legacy of WrestleMania Part 2, along with wrestling's top news. So much to talk about. But before we get into that, I want to get off wrestling for a moment. I'm a father of 5 wonderful children. 4 boys, 1 girl. And yes, something happened yesterday that was so tragic. 19 children killed. I believe 2 or 3 teachers dead. When does it end? When does it stop? Something has to be done for the system to change and put a new gun control on something. Something. Like, damn it. Like, how many more freaking kids gotta go before you guys really open your damn eyes? I'm not into politics. Politics is not, like I said, no bullshit, no politics, just straight wrestling. But this is not politics. This is something serious. Because it affects my kids too. We want to give out, from the Evolution of Pro Wrestling family, we want to give our condolences to every single family that lost a little child that they would never see again.
Elementary school kids at that.
Elementary school kids.
It's crazy.
God forbid that could have been one of my kids. So please, wake your damn asses up and do something. Thank you for listening to that. And again, our prayers to those, and thoughts and prayers to those families out there. Well, Jaden, we're back to wrestling here, as we mentioned, the Legacy of WrestleMania Part 2. Yes, Bradley, yes, it was unfortunate. It was tragic.
Yeah.
It was very tragic. We have our lovely producer and director, my wife Yesenia, a stepmom. Thank you for watching, honey. We appreciate it. Russell Jackson, brother, what's going on? Bradley Day, also a loyal fan. Thank you guys for joining us. We got a newcomer, Christopher Barnett. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to be talking about Legacy of WrestleMania Part 2, WrestleMania 10 through WrestleMania 19. But before we get into that, wrestling's top news, breaking news, apparently Matt Riddle is being accused of filming certain stuff, explicit content with his ex-girlfriend, a 19-year-old stripper. What does this mean for him? He's about to get a big push with Roman Reigns. Is this going to stop his push? Jaden, what's your thought on this?
Well, like you said, this is not, we don't really talk about politics, but like, I feel like this is something like that has to do with politics, because it's like, you know, sometimes, you know, like when things don't go another person's way and, you know, some type of relationship, they try to do something to jeopardize another person's life. So we don't exactly know how true it is, but we don't exactly know how false it is.
Hey, like they say, innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly. So
you know what I mean. You can't,
they can't just immediately assume that that's actually what's happening.
No, but that's the thing though, that they did that same thing with Enzo Amore, and Enzo Amore ended up coming clean. There was nothing wrong with him. He was fine.
Well then.
Excuse me, Clifford, what's going on, man?
Maybe Matt Riddle needs to clear the air before things get out of hand, because if he doesn't, he can say bye-bye to that push.
No, it's gonna be.
He can say bye-bye to that push if he doesn't.
It's gonna be a shit show if it goes beyond the media.
And I'm looking forward to seeing that kind of push too. I really hope they do give him that kind of push, because I feel like Matt Riddle does deserve something like that. He's been a really hard worker, especially when he's in RK Bro, you know, probably one of the best tag teams in the business right now. So,
and an awesome promo on Monday Night Raw.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And the way he went in, like, boom. And yes, Bradley, you are absolutely right. Apparently, the brand split, it's over.
The brand split? What is the... What
Like SmackDown and Raw, it's done. Like there's no more. It's not two more brands. It's just straight up show.
Show, wow.
So apparently, it looks like they're going back to their old ways and keeping one champion, one title for each person.
About time.
Thank you. My lovely producer gave me some juice.
About time they finally do that.
They had to.
Need to wake up. That's about time they cracked their heads open and figured it out.
It looks like that all started happening the moment Cody Rhodes came back. Maybe he had a little influence on it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I feel like there could be a lot more changes to WWE. Also, no more women tag titles.
Well, that's not definite yet. That's not definite yet.
I mean,
that's speculation right now, but that's not 100% accurate.
I don't
so we don't know. There's been mention of it, but there's also been mention of a tag team tournament. We don't know yet.
That wouldn't make sense to get rid of the tag titles,
give the women their prestige. Come on, don't do that.
Don't go all the way back.
You're going all out with the bloodline, which don't get me wrong, the bloodline has been doing crazy shit.
But the women have been popping
right now
in wrestling,
but they are the best. They're the best faction right now going on. But you gotta build something. You gotta build an ally, an enemy to come after Roman. What do you do next? Riddle, okay. Matt Riddle can put on a great match. But is he the one to actually dethrone Roman Reigns?
He has potential.
I don't think so.
I think so. No. I think Matt Riddle got potential.
I don't think so.
I think he has potential. If they build him up as a heel, I think Matt Riddle has potential. Maybe
to be a world champion?
Maybe.
No.
I think he has potential.
I disagree.
I don't know why you disagree. He has potential to be a world champion.
Change the man's gear.
Who said he had to keep the gear? Who said he had to keep the gimmick that he had?
You can't have a world heavyweight champion like that.
That's what I'm saying. Who said you had to change his gear? Who said you had to keep his gear? Who said you had to do it this year?
Okay,
things change.
Okay, so Dave Biddle says now fans will complain like with AEW for too much talent not on TV. I like the split. Well,
to be honest, I kind of did too. It wasn't bad.
It was okay. It was okay, but now it's the ratings. It's the ratings and money. They made a shitload of money, but apparently they're having problems, which brings us also another news in wrestling that they have moved Money in the Bank to the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. So apparently they were having issues selling tickets. That's a problem.
That is a big problem.
That's a problem. That means you're not booking. Your writers are not doing what the hell they're supposed to do.
Not at all.
So what's next?
Not at all.
What's next? What are you gonna do next? Like, come on, you gotta get on point, man. You gotta get on point. You gotta let it be known.
You
do. Like, go full throttle, man. Turn the people you need to turn into heel, face, whatever. Do it.
Do something.
Like, I don't understand why.
Build and push.
Exactly. Why haven't they pushed him yet? Why? You put that man as a neutral baby face and go after Roman Reigns? Do you understand the storyline that can go with those men and Imperium? Do you not know? That's money. That's money right there.
That is money.
Like, come on, man. Come on, man. For real.
That is money.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But speaking of money, there's been some talk of why Stephanie McMahon left the WWE. Apparently, it is something personal. It's something personal, something private. Apparently, there were certain things bothering her that were really getting to her. After a while. The issue with Shane McMahon getting fired by his own father. Triple H's heart incident that happened, and now his condition. But he is back full time working.
He is back full
at the HQ. Also, there was other thoughts that still the Chris Benoit incident affects her.
You really think so?
It was that people are speculating. Because she was the face of the business at the time. She was the one, putting everything out there. So it's like, okay, what's next? You know what I mean?
I still think, like I said, it has something. I think all those things could be true, but I still think it's like something deeper than that. Like deeper than
it's
outside.
It's probably from her father.
That's what I'm
probably
saying.
From her father. And speaking of her father, her father and I'm kind of gonna stay on neutral on this one, but I kind of understand why he did this. Vince McMahon has banned the word attacked on commentary from now on. Right. Apparently, it's due to because Russia attacked Ukraine. Political. But I understand. I understand.
I guess so.
I understand. Innocent people are being killed in Ukraine, and he doesn't want the word to be used.
I respect it, but it's like, was it really necessary? I respect the man's thing because I understand he has a valid reason for it, but it's like it wasn't necessary to ban a word that almost everybody uses a lot. So, well, it's his thing, his show, his rules, whatever he wants to do.
Blah blah blah. He did it.
Because as long as the commentary's still good, I don't care.
Well, listen to me. That combination of Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, they're a good combination. They are a good combination. Pat McAfee be making me laugh, man.
What are they gonna say now? Like they can't say like Miz just attacked Cena. Like now they gotta say
and Fox. I get it. Yep, exactly. It's NBC and Fox. Because they got money. They're getting paid a lot of money.
Well, I guess they're gonna have to say ambush now. Somebody just ambushed this person. Somebody just backstabbed that person.
Listen.
Something.
You know how many things they used to say back then in commentary.
They can't say
it. Back then in the 80s, and I know many of you used to hear this a lot from Gorilla Monsoon. Oh my God, that he just got a Pearl Harbor. You know what Pearl Harbor is?
Yeah.
You know what Pearl Harbor is, right? That was the attack from Japan.
Japan, yeah.
They completely scratched that. They scratched that off. They said, that was war. That's too sensitive for people, and all this kind of stuff. So it was like, okay.
That's one thing I can't give AEW credit for. They don't care about that all political crap. Like they just do it.
AEW still got to get their numbers up. AEW still slacking with the.
I still respect them though, because they don't lean towards like that too much political side, and that's what I like about a wrestling business, when they can do what they want to do instead of having to worry about what other people think. So, been an incident backstage. It was an incident backstage.
An incident? Is this breaking news?
An incident with who?
Oh, let's see. We gotta hear this resource now. Apparently, it's some breaking news. There's been an incident backstage. And speaking of backstage, there's been some heat with CM Punk. He's getting a lot of heat back there. Apparently, a lot of talk that he's better than people. He stands up for his beliefs. He wore a certain T-shirt, which I'm not gonna name. I'm not gonna mention.
Yeah.
But it caused a lot of
if you know, you know.
You've seen it. If you know, you know.
You see it. You know, you
but
know.
But it caused a lot of controversy. But that's who he is.
He believes what he believes.
But apparently, it's not going too well with people backstage. He's pretty much saying it's been an incident instead of an attack. Oh man, that if they say that is.
I'm not gonna. I can't take WWE serious.
I think I would do my own commentary in my house watching.
Right,
for real.
I'd rather ambush than an incident.
And you know what else?
It's been an ambush. I'd rather that.
And
incident is ridiculous.
And you know what else is ridiculous? That our fans have not shared our content all over social media. Share, like, comment. Please bring fans in and have them talk the legacy of WrestleMania Part 2, WrestleMania 10 through WrestleMania 19, along with wrestling's top news. Oh, thank you.
Top news.
And talk about top news, which is crazy news, and I don't know what the hell to say about this. Hulk Hogan has agreed to face Ric Flair in Starrcast for his final match.
Hold on, what now?
Brother. You need to stop.
Are you kidding me? Oh, God.
I'm your fan. I'm your biggest fan. But you gotta stop.
Hulk Hogan, you can...
Para chico, que ya no puede.
You can barely walk, my guy. How do you expect to...
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Alright. I'm not even gonna say what I want to say on here, because... Come on, man.
Don't do it.
All I'm gonna say is, I don't know, man.
Anyway, I
don't even want to talk about that.
I wouldn't listen. I'd rather have see Ric Flair or Ricky Steamboat.
I'd rather have see Ric Flair and just some mid card on like NXT or something.
No. But speaking of attack, Alexa Bliss apparently got a threat from a fan that he was going to shoot her and her husband, and it was reported to the police. Like that's a very serious thing, you know, for it to happen. Like, oh my God,
right?
Like, what the hell is going on in this damn world? Like, holy shit,
this world is insane.
Yeah, you know what else is insane? What Sasha and Naomi did when they walked out. And now apparently they've been suspended indefinitely and all their merchandise has been taken off the market.
What did they do?
They walked out of the company.
Oh yeah.
They
got suspended.
They took their they were supposed to be in a 6-man challenge. Mm-hmm. They walked out of the company. They didn't want to. They didn't want to do it. They threw the titles on Vince McMahon's table and just walked out. They talked about in pretty much they talked about a story for the match. Something they wanted something. Vince McMahon didn't agree to it, and that's why they walked out. What do you think?
Vince needs to get his head out of his butt and.
He needs to get his head out of his ass.
Yeah, exactly. Get some better writers, man. Do something, cause
your creators,
you're just messing up everyone's
your writers
man.
Are terrible, Vince McMahon.
Suck, man.
Whether you're watching this or not, whether you don't, we're just a little podcast to you.
They're
you need to
not
change your writers.
If you want some more publicity, if you want to get more fame, if you want to get selling tickets again, you need better writers.
Do something.
Because these people don't know how to write. Like, even some of these fans are better writers than the actual WWE writers. Like,
well,
just let the fans take over.
Well, wrestling is not the way it used to be.
Definitely. It never will be.
But, you know when wrestling was good? The time WrestleMania began. WrestleMania is the Super Bowl of wrestling.
Of course.
And last week we mentioned part 1, WrestleMania 1 through WrestleMania 9. Tonight we are jumping into WrestleMania 10 through WrestleMania 19. Jaden.
Yes.
You've seen WrestleMania.
Of course.
You know what WrestleMania is.
Hi.
When you hear WrestleMania, what do you think about?
The grandest stage of them all. You know, that's where wrestlers' careers can either be made or broken. That's where, you know, some of the greatest matches have happened. Moments were made. You know, WrestleMania, besides the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania has to be like the most unpredictable event somebody can ever see. And, you know, I'm really glad that WrestleMania is a thing, you know, one year around, but it's worth it. Whenever you see a WrestleMania, it's absolutely worth it. So, WrestleMania is awesome.
WrestleMania is an event I always watch. No matter how bad it is, I still watch the event.
I'm not gonna lie though, this recent WrestleMania was really good.
It was good. It was good. I ain't gonna lie. This WrestleMania was good.
It was awesome.
But let's go to WrestleMania 10.
Oh yeah.
WrestleMania 10 was in Madison Square Garden for a 10-year anniversary.
Funny.
This card was amazing.
WrestleMania 10. And it's the 10-year anniversary.
It was an amazing event. Like I'm stuttering. I'm stuttering from how good this event was. The beginning of the event, the first match was Bret Hart against the late great Owen Hart. Owen Hart said he could beat his brother. He proved it. He won.
He did win.
I'm still pissed to this day that Owen Hart did not win a freaking championship.
He should have won a championship.
He really should have been world champion. But that match was an instant classic.
It was an
instant classic. You saw, and the crazy part is that you see the actual technical fighting between these two, learning from the dungeon, learning from their father, the late great Stu Hart. Like you could see the intensity in the match.
I mean, hey, that's what happens. That match was like two brothers fighting outside of the ring. You know, they was just looking at each other like they was actually having, you know, some kind of battle. And that's what happens when you put two brothers in the ring that know each other from the back of their hands.
Of course. And it was an interesting match. Stop banging on my table, man.
Stop banging on my chest.
You messing with my mic.
I'm not King Kong, okay?
You sure look like it.
You're bigger than me.
Let's go. Anyway, there was another match featured in that was Randy Savage against Crush, the late great Crush. It was a falls count anywhere match, and it was a really good match. A really good match. And when I saw that match, that was the first time I ever seen Macho Man that aggressive in that match.
The only reason why Owen never won a title is because Vince got off on torturing Bret by making the rest of the family suffer.
Oh.
Of course, Vince wouldn't do such a thing like that.
I'm
not surprised.
Yeah.
Vince is something else, man.
Vince is definitely something else.
Something else.
But they put on an exhibition in that match. And like I said, Randy Savage and Crush, they had a hell of a match.
Owen versus Bret made it okay to be the opening match, best of the night.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was the match of the night. There was no other match. I think the only thing that came closer to it was Bret Hart and Yokozuna. That was it. But there was one match that revolutionized the ladder match. Razor Ramon against the Heartbreak Kid. Jaden, tell me your thoughts on that matchup.
It was a really good match. You know, there's been a few ladder matches before that, but it was like that match was the match that signified ladder matches for the time going forward. Without that match, I don't think ladder matches would be as popular as they were today. You know, that match was that was a slobber knocker match. That was my favorite match on the whole card. And those two put on the show. You know, Razor Ramon won that match,
yes.
right? Yep, Razor Ramon won that match. Rest in peace, Razor Ramon. That match was awesome. I loved the match. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I loved the match. It was a really good
match. Pretty much signified what two athletes are willing to go through just to please the fans. Especially Shawn Michaels at the time. He was an egotistical maniac. And he needed that spotlight.
I think that was the match before the main event too. And something happened where that match was not supposed to go on as long as it did.
Oh, but it did.
It did. Vince was bad, but he enjoyed it. It was for a good reason.
He enjoyed it. He was pissed, but he said, a match of the fucking night.
Exactly.
He enjoyed it though.
It was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it. It was worth to see.
It went over what it was.
And don't get me wrong, it wasn't the first ever ladder match in WWE.
But it was
Shawn Michaels and Bret for one time.
It was the one that signified the wrestling ladder matches. It was the one that made ladder matches look great.
Amazing.
Oh, but KB.
Oh, but KB. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. I am congested.
Yeah, he's congested.
I am congested, but I'm here. I am here.
Yeah, Captain Sniffley's here.
Yeah, sure. Smart ass. Anyway, continue with Legacy of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
WrestleMania is the name brand of sports entertainment and all of wrestling. You can't get no better than that.
No, you cannot.
You know, but then there's WrestleMania 11. WrestleMania 11. Many things change. Many things change as each WrestleMania. Oh, wait, whoa. Okay, hold on. I read this comment. Dave Biddle said, at the time, I wasn't a fan of the ladder match. It was new at the time. Didn't appeal to my old school ways. I appreciate it more now. Okay, we were about to fight. The ladder matches will signify the high flyers of a professional wrestling.
Honestly, one of my favorite. I forgot the card for it, but one of my favorite ones was with Shelton Benjamin in the ladder match.
Was that? I think it was WrestleMania 24. No, Mute.
Or it was WrestleMania
21, maybe.
I was just about to say, yeah.
Yeah, but you jumping ahead.
Listen,
You're jumping ahead.
We're talking about ladder matches, okay? It just so happened to be in a WrestleMania match.
Fine.
Not my fault.
All right. But he's right. That match was superb with Shelton Benjamin.
I'm gonna go watch that later after this. I'm gonna go watch that later.
Well, it's. I like the ladder matches when it involves multiple people.
It's fun.
They said, no need to apologize, Lewis. To me, the HBK Razor Ramon match was one hell of a preview of what we get years later with TLC 1 and 2. Hell yeah! WrestleMania 17.
That was awesome, man.
And we haven't even got to 17 yet. We're going to get there.
We're going to get there.
We're going to get to that. Like, oh my God. Like, I was in shock when I saw that. Like, to this day, I can still sit down and watch it on my big screen TV.
Yeah, I can watch that too.
Like, well, it's not that big. It's
big enough.
32 inch. But yes, we cannot get tired of that match.
Of course not. Never.
That match hit a magnitude like no other. But we're going to get to that later.
Yeah, later. When that time comes.
But WrestleMania 11 was a unique match.
Matt?
I was going to say match. But that was the first time in quite a while that we've seen a celebrity actually compete. You know, first it was WrestleMania 2, WrestleMania 1. But Lawrence Taylor, former Giants player, excellent. He was one of the greats of all time. Fought against Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But what surprised me the most, which I don't know what Vince was thinking, but apparently it went through. They put that as the main event.
Whoa.
But yet you got a championship match, Diesel versus Shawn Michaels.
And they didn't put that as the...
So I don't understand.
Okay.
But
I guess, like, since it was a celebrity, he probably put that
I guess so.
last.
I guess so. But
that's the only logic
like,
I got.
okay.
That's the only logic I got left.
It's like, okay,
Since
that's
it
fine.
was a celebrity.
But surprisingly, Lawrence Taylor put on a hell of a freaking show. Like shit. Like he was able to keep up with Bam Bam Bigelow. He gave Bam Bam Bigelow a black eye.
Like a real
black eye, because I think he called him in a certain way. And then he admitted it. He's like, yo, shit, wrestling's real. Wrestling's real. Like, those bumps,
those
can't.
Bumps hurt.
Those shits hurt. Like, no.
They do hurt.
I can't even take a bump like that.
Okay, maybe I can, but...
He can take it.
I just have to do some more working out to take something like that, because, like...
Well.
Those bumps hurt.
Well. But WrestleMania 11 was...
It was alright.
It was okay.
Right.
You know, it was okay. It was, you had The Undertaker against King Kong Bundy.
Yep.
Owen Hart and Yokozuna won the tag team titles at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And Bret Hart defeated Bob Backlund by submission. Bob Backlund was a pretty huge figure back in the 80s. When he came back, I wasn't too fond of Bob Backlund. So that didn't really impress me.
Yeah.
Well, WrestleMania 11 wasn't my cup of tea. That one
was not his cup of tea.
For real? Yeah, that's how you feel?
It was not his cup of tea.
Stop making fun of me, sir.
I'm not making fun of you. I'm just talking.
Shirk.
Oh, what? I'm not doing it.
Yeah, sure.
No.
Sure.
I'm just talking.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, you're excused.
See this shit? Anyway.
That hurt my nose.
WrestleMania 12. WrestleMania 12 saw the return and the longest match in WWE history. You had the Hulkster versus the Nacho Man. Brother. Two old men that got their asses beat.
Did you just say the Nacho Man?
The Nacho Man, because they were making fun of WCW at the time. That's when WCW was around. They said, okay, the Nacho Man, yada, 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 yada. And,
oh, God.
it was hilarious. I'm like, holy shit.
Mr. Backlund was a good heel. Was so clean in the 70s.
Yeah.
Don't know who that is, but cool.
Bob Backlund, you've seen him. You've seen him.
I probably have seen him.
Christopher Brown says,
Not
makes
good with
sense
names.
if you think about the facts. Vince casual fan obsession began back then. Yeah, it was back then. It was back then when Vince actually used his mind. He did what he had to do. He's like, okay, let me just... Now he dialed down after he won the wars. You know what I mean? But WrestleMania 12 was a very unique event. It featured Roddy Piper, God rest his soul, the local, the crazy, fight against Goldust in a Hollywood backlot brawl. Like these two beat the shit out of each other. Like damn, but it was a good match. It was a really good match.
Goldust was very weird, man.
And no, but he was a hell of a wrestler.
He was.
He still is.
It was so
He still
weird.
is.
That was back then when he was young.
You saw the return of the Ultimate Warrior, but they made Triple H look weak. Like he took a pedigree and he came and just kept going. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's.
I seen a promo of Ultimate Warrior a few days ago.
I'm like, come on, man. I'm saying you're trying to move forward, Vince, not backwards. Like I appreciated the Ultimate Warrior, but it was time to move forward. And
now, since we're talking about the Ultimate Warrior, I was watching one of his promos a few days ago. I was crying. Oh my goodness.
oh, the draft has been moved to August.
The
Interesting.
draft.
Yeah, apparently there's supposed to be a draft. They're saying if there's a brand split, but now there's talk that there's supposed to be a draft. So, excuse me, man.
Coffee. See, that's the
But
congestion.
stop it.
It's the congestion.
But also, in that card
yeah.
was a very good match between The Undertaker and Diesel. Those two had a hell of a war
Yes.
in that match. Like, The Undertaker said it, like, shit, I was... but the crazy thing is that Diesel had mentioned, well, Kevin Nash had mentioned on the show of Stone Cold Steve Austin that Taker had just been served divorce papers that same night of WrestleMania 12. And he told him, he said, brother, you're going to have to carry this one. I just got my papers, divorce, blah, 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 blah. And they had a hell of a match.
Yeah.
Like, it was a really good match. It was brutal.
They did have a really good match.
You okay there, son? You playing with your fingers? Instead of talking wrestling?
I'm listening to what you're saying. You
Yes.
had a brutal match. You go ahead.
Well, what did you think of that match?
Oh, dude, you just took the words right from me. It was, it was a brutal match, and it was like you said, it was like a match that he really had to carry. But I feel like even if he had to carry that match, he still made it good. So overall, it was a pretty awesome match. You got two big dudes fighting in the ring against each other, and yeah, that was. I don't think it was the best match on the card, but.
It was a good match. It was a good match.
I give that match.
No, but the best match of the card was Shawn Michaels against Bret Hart in a 1 hour Iron Man match. 1 hour. 1 hour. Who the hell wrestles for 1 hour? Well, besides Ric Flair.
Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart do. That's who.
Christopher Brown says, it's my understanding, Lewis, that at least internally WWE considers the brand split to be dead. But NBC, Universal, and Fox are insisting on separating rosters and titles. Oof. The brass is talking. Vince, you gotta make some moves, my man. Let's go, my man. Stop the bullshitting and get these storylines going. Get some good freaking writers. Like shit. I've been a fan from the WWE since I was 5. And still, you guys are writing bullshit.
I think the writers changed over the years. Like
damn,
I don't-
like, what are you doing?
actually, no. I think they kept the same writers, but I think the writers are old now. Like they're probably like Vince.
I don't know.
They're probably like
I
Vince
don't
type
know.
old.
Whoever's the
now.
writer is not doing a good job.
They're like Vince type old.
Sorry. Give me a month. Give me 1 month to write a show. Make that 2. Make that 2.
2 months to write one show.
No, to write SmackDown and
I'm
Raw.
about to say.
Say what?
It should not take a person 2 months to write down one show.
Excuse me. When you got so many big stars and you got titles and you got money, you got fans. You got to do the right thing.
Well, oh my lord. Okay, fine. I love the Iron Man match. Great in-ring story. It was a
Absolutely.
good match, especially since
And
you
it
know
was personal.
I was about to say all the
It was personal.
all the rivalries, all the stuff they had against each other.
It was
like,
personal. Like
Yeah.
the heat was real.
it was real.
Very,
Yeah.
very, very real. Like, holy shit. But
But
stop hitting the table.
I've been doing that on a show at least one time.
This is why they call him the heel kid. Jerk. Jerk. Christopher Brown says, that's a stipulation I love to see back. I love to see if Omos and Lashley can last for an hour after. Yeah, that's not.
That would be
Well, maybe
funny.
Lashley. Maybe Lashley.
Oh no, Omos is
Lashley's a former he's a former sergeant in the military.
and he is. Actually.
He
He can
do it.
last. I'm sure he can last.
I think he can last.
I don't know.
an hour.
Omos is pretty stiff.
If you can, you from the military like that,
He can last more than an hour. He can go longer than that.
you can do some damage. But Omos, I don't know.
He's pretty stiff.
Come on, I want this smoke. You don't want this smoke. Like my man, come on. You don't want this smoke. No, come on. Be the silent giant. Have a man. Give him a manager. Give him a manager that talks for him.
MVP is his manager, right?
Yeah.
Or does the MVP just talk for him? Probably because MVP's mic skill is not that good.
No, his mic skills are good. His mic
But
skills
you
are
need
good.
to start talking.
Why are you yelling at me? Yell at them.
I'm not yelling at you. WWE, wake up, man. Yoo-hoo.
They don't listen to us. They don't listen.
They don't
to
listen
us.
to anybody. They just do what they want
Just
to do.
like you don't listen to me when I tell you stop banging on my table. You messing
I'm
up
not
my mic.
banging up your table.
Get out.
I'm not banging on the table.
Damn it.
I'm not banging on your table.
Hey, Brian Montalvo!
Yeah.
Compi, ¿qué pasa? Welcome, brother, welcome. So, we're back to our Legacy of WrestleMania. Now we are at WrestleMania 13, which was also a historic event. Had many good matches. It was actually the title defense of The Rock, with his father helping him, Rocky Johnson, the late great Rocky Johnson, went up against the Sultan and Iron Sheik. Owen Hart and the British Bulldog took on Mankind and Vader. Owen Hart and British Bulldog were a very good tag team.
They were a good tag team.
Very good tag team. And it's a damn shame that man had to go. And it still sucks.
I was just watching his Dark Side of the Ring yesterday.
That sucked.
Yeah.
But to me, there was matches. You had The Undertaker and Psycho Sid for the WWE title. And they had an amazing match. It was a good match. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
But the match of the night was Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret the Hitman Hart.
That was
That I Quit match. When Stone Cold was a bloody mess.
Didn't he lose that?
He lost it because of knockout. He didn't say I quit.
I was about to say he didn't
Ken
quit.
Shamrock was the
Yeah,
guest
he didn't
referee,
quit.
and he kept checking him. Oh, if you do not say I quit, I'm gonna call the match. He called the match.
He didn't quit.
Like it was a fierce.
It was fight. It was
match.
a fight, man. I seen that match. It was woo.
Like wow.
Holla mercy.
And that was the day Stone Cold turned face. He was accepted by the fans. Bret Hart turned heel. Best thing they could have did. Attitude Era off, and we go. And that's what started creating everything. That's what created the Attitude Era. That's what created everything with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Stone Cold Steve Austin went from there.
Yes.
You okay there? You flying a bird?
Yes, I'm okay. I'm not flying a bird.
Listen, man, I'm congested. Leave me alone, okay?
Yeah, he's congested. Leave him alone.
Anyway, we are at WrestleMania 14. WrestleMania 14 was also a unique event. Many things changed. Many things changed as the years progressed. Didn't quite great end for both. Made both bigger stars. It made them bigger stars, that's for sure. Like, oh man, like,
wait, this is about to say you're frozen?
Yeah, because he's right. Like, that match made their career after that. Like, it skyrocketed. That's when Bret Hart became champion. That's when Stone Cold started going after the title until he got hurt. You know, and then he became the Intercontinental Champion. And the match never happened. The match never happened for the world title.
Yeah.
But a lot changed a year after WrestleMania 13. We saw the return of the Legion of Doom 2000 from both late great Hawk and Animal. It was an amazing. They were the best team.
Get off.
Best tag team of all time.
Yes.
And they won the tag team battle royal to determine the number one contendership for the world tag team title.
Yes.
You also had a match between Kane and The Undertaker. That was the first time Kane and Undertaker ever fought, because that's when Kane became, it's gotta be Kane! It's gotta be Kane! And he found out he was his brother. And then the match was set. When Kane set Undertaker on fire at the Royal Rumble in a casket.
That he,
boom,
my god,
hell of a match. Hell of a match.
When he pulled the hinges off the cell, like when they first met each other, when he pulled the cell, like the door off.
Oh man, that was crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That was crazy. And then the match itself was superb.
The match itself was awesome.
It was superb. But then we also saw The Rock, who was The Rock. No longer Dwayne Johnson. Not Rocky Maivia.
No,
he was the heel.
The Rock.
He was in the Nation of Domination.
That was one of my favorite versions of The Rock.
He was in the Nation of Domination, and then he fought against Ken Shamrock.
Kane had that freak power for real, man. He had that Hercules power. God.
He was big. He was a big guy.
He was.
Like, he made Undertaker look like.
He made Undertaker, yeah.
Like, no offense to the Undertaker, but he was a huge guy. And
he was.
It took 3 tombstones to take him out. 3, not 1, not 2, not 3.
Isn't this when Kane was a pallbearer guy at the time?
Yeah. And it was crazy.
Kane! Man.
But the main event featured Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels with guest referee, at that time the height, Mike Tyson. It was a passing of the torch.
Mike Tyson, I don't think, Stone. Oh yeah, they did have a little rivalry with Stone Cold.
It was a passing of the torch between Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels. And Shawn Michaels was already out the door because he really tore up his back. In the Royal Rumble, he hit his, I believe, somewhere in his back, on the casket, and that ended his career for like 4 years. And it was crazy what happened to him.
He was out of commission.
He was out of commission for a long time, but then it paved the way for Stone Cold. Stone Cold.
Stone Cold is going to WrestleMania.
And you can hear, when you hear the crowd with those, when he returns, and you see how Jim Ross is.
Stone Cold.
Like.
Jim Ross almost had a stroke.
Oh man, he almost had a stroke. It was insane.
Stone Cold.
No, it was insane. It was insane when he would do that.
That man almost had a stroke when he returned, man.
No, when he would do the commentary for Stone Cold, it made him even that much more exciting.
It did. And Jim Ross did commentary in general. It was exciting, like. Jim Ross was just amazing, but he was a good commentator.
Yeah, but he kept getting fired.
One beer, two beer. I don't even know why. 1 beer, 2 beer, 3 beer, 4 beer, 5. For real, like 5 beers.
That would be funny. He said, "I got 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers, a 4, 5." See, now look at Uncle June. 1 beer, 2 beer.
Oh God.
No, let's see if we can find the video of Stone Cold coming back. Because Stone Cold was an attraction.
No.
He was a major. He saved WWE.
He did.
What?
Is it that one?
Oh man.
20 beer. Imagine.
This is Monday Night Raw. Kurt Angle had just finished fighting Triple H, and Stone Cold is here. You hear Jim Ross? Stone Cold Stunner. Oh, that was wrestling. Just hit the game times again. I used to love the commentary. Can I get a hell yeah?
Oh my God, man, he was too much.
He said, and Austin started a chant that WWE wrestlers resent to this day. Of course. What? Well, oh my God.
Every time somebody says something, sometimes
holy shit.
sometimes
you still hear it to this day.
When people are cutting promos, even if it has nothing to do with Stone Cold, what? Like, even if it has nothing to do with Stone Cold whatsoever, man. I still hear it. That is an art, man. You got people chanting what, and the conversation is not even about Stone Cold.
With Stone Cold, he revolutionized.
He was iconic.
He was iconic at WrestleMania.
There will never be another Stone Cold.
WrestleMania 14. WrestleMania 14 was a unique event, and to this day, that was the beginning of the Stone Cold era. The Austin era had begun when he won the world title that day. And it was crazy. It was crazy the way he won that. The way he won that, and then Mike Tyson knocked the shit out of Shawn Michaels after that. So he's like, "All right, here,
get down,
eat that.
Yeah, sit down."
But then there's WrestleMania 15. As we mentioned, each year WrestleMania changes. It gets better and better.
And sometimes.
Well, WrestleMania 15 was no different. You had a match. Mm-hmm. All of them were great, but one of them, Butterbean, got knocked out bar gun. Like, that was just a disaster, that fight. Like, I don't know why the hell they did that shit. The Fatal 4-Way Intercontinental title match was pretty good. Road Dogg, Ken Shamrock, Val Venus, and Goldust was a pretty decent match. Shane and X-Pac was a good match. Shane was able to get down back then. The Undertaker Hell in a Cell when Undertaker hung Big Boss Man through that was very controversial.
I wouldn't say that would not
but
be.
They got it.
That would not pass today.
But the match of the night, Austin and The Rock. At that time, two of the biggest stars.
Hey, Rock.
Hey yo.
Hey yo.
What's up, James? Two of the biggest stars in professional wrestling at the time. You tired? You trying not to yawn? Am I boring you? The Rock and Stone Cold.
Ow.
Stone Cold won the match, went to new heights. But eventually The Rock surpassed that due to the injury. What did you think about that first match in their rivalry, Jay?
Was Stone Cold and The Rock?
Yes.
It was history from there. Like you said, those two were two of the top people at the time. The Rock was at his prime, Stone Cold was at his prime, and those two were just getting down with each other. And it's like, to see you would have never thought to see someone like The Rock and Stone Cold go at it with each other more than one time. And I feel like the more they fought, the more the matches just got better and better. So I really like their rivalry. Their rivalry carried for quite some time, and
okay, so
it was great.
Christopher Brown has a question. He said, "Now let me ask you something, Lewis. If Owen hadn't broken Steve's neck, how much longer would his run have lasted? Oh shit! Wait, I think his run would have lasted a long time.
He broke Steve Austin's neck?
Yeah.
I did not know
He
that.
dropped him on his head. He did a power driver, but his head didn't clear the mat. His head didn't clear the mat, and his head hit the floor, and his spinal went in, and he broke his neck. You know? Yes, their rivalry was crazy. Rock and Austin 5-year rivalry that was great.
That's what I'm saying. That's a 5-year. That is the longest rivalry I've ever heard.
No, that was a hell of a rivalry. That was a hell of a rivalry.
That's what I said. That rivalry went on for quite some time.
With that match,
yeah, and their matches just kept getting better and better and better, man.
It did.
Their matches were getting better.
Unfortunately, it did stop because Stone Cold did get hurt. Which brings us to WrestleMania 16.
Yep.
Which was a fatal 4-way elimination match between Big Show, Triple H, Mick Foley, and The Rock. Me personally, I did not like this event. I wasn't too fond of this.
It wasn't all that, yeah.
This match, I say to me, one of the good matches was, yes, the triangle ladder match between the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardys.
That match was great.
That match was great. That match was awesome. You also have Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, and Kurt Angle. 3 of the greatest in technical wrestling. Exactly. Worst Mania main event ever. I didn't like it.
Worst Mania main event.
To me personally, I didn't like it. Why? Because at that time, and this was me, but I understand why. I wasn't a fan of Triple H.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand him. I was Stone Cold all the way. Stone Cold. Because Stone Cold said so. But I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But now I understand. Why Vince McMahon did it. But like I said, me personally, I was not a fan of WrestleMania 16. What?
Look at what he said.
What he said?
Read it. You can't read it.
Hold on, I'm sharing.
Ay.
But it's good shit. Laughing out loud. Yeah, no, that one definitely wasn't good shit. That was bad shit. But
dog doo-doo.
They made up for it. At WrestleMania 17. To me, by far, the best out of this entire lineup, in my opinion. WrestleMania 17 highlighted many old stars. And it was amazing. It was amazing from start to finish. And you had matches like Kurt Angle against Chris Benoit. Legendary match.
That was a really good match.
Legendary match that happened that cannot be duplicated.
Never.
Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon actually put on a hell of a match.
That match was really good.
That
match was real. I think his wife was in that match.
Yeah. She kicked him in the balls.
Yeah.
That match was awesome.
Yeah.
The Undertaker and Triple H put on a wrestling clinic that day.
Listen, when those two fight, it's always
a good match. They went at it. They enjoyed it. They had fun. It was a hell of a match.
Triple H is one of the people that can definitely keep up with the Undertaker.
Absolutely.
That's like one of the Undertaker's best rivals.
Of course, the Attitude Era roster knew their roles, and that's what their role was back then at WrestleMania 17. Then you had a gimmick battle royal. Oh my God. All the greats. Mean Gene Okerlund, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Iron Sheik, Shawn Michaels, Sergeant Slaughter, who else? One Man Gang.
Dang, a lot.
Jim Cornette. Oh my God, there was so many.
Mean Gene
and Bobby the Brain came in as commentary.
Wow.
As commentary. They came in as commentary.
Wow, that's funny.
Hillbilly Jim was also the gobbledygooker. There was so many greats. Like, I enjoyed it. But there was one comment that I will always remember. That Bobby Heenan makes fun of Iron Sheik at WrestleMania 17. Like, let me see. Let's see if we have it here. All right, here we go.
Take a look at this.
This is Bobby Heenan.
By the time the Iron Sheik gets to the ring, it'll be WrestleMania 38.
He was a clown. He was a clown. Yeah, I always loved his commentary.
WrestleMania 38.
Yeah, I was rolling when he said that. I'm like, damn. You see, that's just messed up, you know? Making fun of the man like that.
Oh God.
But it was.
Oh God.
It was a great WrestleMania. WrestleMania 17 was a major extravaganza.
By the time he gets to the ring,
And the shocker at WrestleMania 17 was when Stone Cold.
Lord, that's funny.
Focus.
I'm sorry.
When Stone Cold joined forces with Vince McMahon, his biggest rivalry ever. But WrestleMania 17 overall
that was a good one.
was an excellent event.
Yeah,
It was an excellent event.
WrestleMania 38.
Oh man!
Oh my God,
that was funny.
But Bobby Heenan.
WrestleMania 18 was.
Oh man,
It was an okay event.
it was it was
You
controversial.
know,
It was controversial.
But
It could go both ways. It could go. You could. I would take good or bad as an answer. I would take. Either
listen,
one.
it was the matches. Some matches were good. You had Triple H win the title, the Undisputed Championship against Chris Jericho.
Yep.
It was a good match. They put on a hell of a match.
That was a good match.
Edge and Booker T, also two good athletes. Undertaker and Ric Flair in a no holds barred match. They went at it.
They went at it.
And that's when Arn Anderson spine busted the Undertaker, and Kurt Angle fought Kane. You know, it was a pretty interesting event.
Yeah, it was.
But the match that signified the pay-per-view was also the passing of the torch. The icon, Hall of Famer, the legend, Hulk Hogan, against another icon, legend, future Hall of Famer,
The Rock. Yeah.
The Rock. Did you see the atmosphere though with that match?
It was crazy.
The Rock was being booed. Hulk Hogan was getting cheered.
Cheered.
The fans went nuts. Like nuts. Like holy shit.
That was a match. Yeah, that was a match. That was like a match of the century, right?
That was a match of the century. That was a dream match.
And
yes,
it was a
won.
good match too. It was
Yes,
a good match.
The Rock won.
What?
But it was
It
a
was
passing of the torch. It was a passing of the torch with Hulk Hogan and The Rock.
Yes, it was a passing of the torch.
And then we finally go to
WrestleMania 19.
WrestleMania 19. WrestleMania 19 featured a match that was
Stacy Noelle.
20 years in the making.
20 years in the making.
Also, WrestleMania 19 featured someone that nearly destroyed himself and his career, Torch.
Oh my goodness.
And you saw another man still keep his streak on in a handicap match.
Yeah.
The Undertaker fought Big Show and A-Train and won the match.
Won the match in WrestleMania.
At WrestleMania. Triple H
paved the way for Red and Yellow Hogan to return.
Yes,
he did fight Hollywood Hogan.
Did.
Yep.
Yes, he did. That also signified the end of a chapter, the end of a rivalry, possibly one of the greatest rivalries, if not the greatest rivalry of all time. WrestleMania 19, The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Stone Cold lost. And it was his final match.
What's his final match?
The Rock got redemption. It was a crazy send-off.
It was.
And The Rock went big after that.
He did.
He went big after that. He
did.
got a lot of publicity, and it was good. Another great match was Chris Jericho against Shawn Michaels.
That was a really good
That was a good match.
That was a good one.
That was a real exhibition match.
I feel like Chris Jericho is extremely underrated. Like,
yes, he was.
Chris Jericho was extremely underrated back
But
then.
what was another crazy match was Brock Lesnar against Kurt Angle.
This man...
I was in Brian's house watching this match. This dude did a flip and landed dead on his head. Boom! He was seeing stars.
He almost killed
My
himself.
man, what the hell were you thinking?
Oh my god. What is a big guy?
Thank God he was okay.
Thank God. I mean,
Because
I think
that
that's because he's done that before. I just think like something went wrong.
No,
like,
something definitely went wrong.
He did it before.
Something definitely went wrong.
He did it before
because
then.
he
did
snuffed
it
himself like, hey, Johnny. Like, whip yeah. Like, damn. That shit was there. Again, the match of the night, to me,
To you.
that signified something. If Hulk Hogan lost, he would have to retire from the WWE. These two have known each other for over 20 years at that time. They made WWE what it is today. Hulk Hogan versus Vince McMahon in a street fight. And believe it or not, the match was actually a good match.
It was.
It was a bloody mess.
For Vince McMahon's old self.
No, they beat the shit out of each other. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like they put each other through tables. Vince McMahon went on a ladder and jumped on him. Boom! Like it was a good match.
Dang. I
But
see why Vince can't take a stunner anymore.
That was
that match probably messed him up. That
no,
match probably
listen.
did him in.
No. Listen, Vince McMahon has had some crazy matches.
He has. From all the
had some
matches he's
crazy
had, he's had
matches.
some insane matches.
Like some insane matches.
I've never seen him in a normal match. Like all of his matches have been like.
He was even in a buried alive match. Man was in a buried alive match, a steel cage match, the Royal Rumble.
Passing of the torch.
Assholes. But thank you, wrestling fans. Our time is up today. Thank you for joining us for Legacy of WrestleMania Part 2.
Yeah.
Along with Wrestling's Top News. Also, for many of you that did not hear us in the beginning of the show, that botch started though, the king of botches.
No.
Not bitches. My bad. See? You're making fun of me.
Oh my god.
Making fun of me. That's karma. That's karma.
That gotta be the worst mess up ever. Oh, hi, Evan. They gotta be the worst. Oh man, that was the worst botch
That
ever.
was a botch. That was a really bad botch. But hey, son, I got my son over here, Evan. He's a future. Come on in, Evan. Come on, Evan. He's a future pro wrestler over here, also a future podcaster. Say hello, Evan. Say hello.
Hello.
Say hello, wrestling world.
Say the future of wrestling.
Say you can't see me.
You can't see me.
All right,
Yeah.
go. We go over there right now. Go ahead, son. So my son over there. But thank you, wrestling fans, for joining us. As I mentioned before in the beginning of the show, we definitely again give our deepest condolences to all those families that lost their children. As you can see, my children I just put on the air. I don't care what people think. That's my son, and I love him to death, just like this Afro puff over here.
That's so touching.
And my other child, my other son, Alexander, I love them all. You know, my other children. A mini heel kid, that's right. Now, oh, trust me, he's a mini.
Nah, for real.
He's the mini heel kid.
Yeah, he is.
But again, prayers out to those families.
Yeah.
But thank you, wrestling fans, for joining us. Please feel free to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. And please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Evolution of Pro Wrestling. As we always say, no politics, no bullshit, straight pro wrestling. Join us next week for Legacy of WrestleMania Part 3, along with wrestling's top news. From myself, Louis, the Encyclopedia of Pro Wrestling.
And Jay, the heel kid of pro wrestling.
And from my producer and director, my lovely wife, Yesenia, thank you for joining us. Good evening, wrestling fans, and we'll see you next week. Oops, how do you finish?